Hello, beloved listeners, and welcome to Snake People at the Movies, film criticism by people who actually like film. Join us as we dive into movies we love, movies we respect, and movies we wish we could unsee. It's the podcast where we talk about growing up and living queer, nerdy, and depressed, online and at the cinema. From the kids who trod a path that few have trod, it's Sneople at the Movies. I'm Ezra.
I'm Matty.
And I'm Helena. The way I was still expecting you to say we're Sweeney Todd at the end of that because the rhyme is so good.
I will have... Okay, so if you have not clued in yet, this is the Sneople tribute episode to the now late, great Stephen Joshua Sondheim, may his memory be for a blessing, who passed away suddenly at the ripe old fucking age of 92. Like, damn, dude, we should all be so lucky.
I think
I thought he passed away. I thought it was 91.
Was he 91?
He was 91,
He was almost 92.
Still.
I'm a terrible Sondheim fan. Anyway.
It's recent. It's recent.
It's recent. I found out at work and cried in the break room.
Mm-hmm.
But we're here. We have a quick What We Sneep for you, and then we have no word of a fucking lie, like 6 pages of just full on key smashing.
Pretty much.
I mean, it's more articulate and incisive than key smashing, but honestly, what is this podcast if not an incisive and intelligent key smash?
So true, bestie.
I'll stop. For fuck's sake. Anyway, I need to just stop running my fucking mouth. Matty, what have you sneeped?
Not much. I went out of town for Thanksgiving. So I was pretty busy. When am I not? Haha. But I watched The Fifth Element again. Our dear friend Ben had not seen it, and I was having a boys' night with the boys, and we were like, oh, what do you guys want to watch? And it came out that Ben had not seen Fifth Element yet, so we were like, shut the fuck up, we're watching Fifth Element. Love that movie.
And you actually don't have a choice about this one.
Yep, and thank God he enjoyed it, because I had this moment of like, you know when you show someone a movie you really like, and you think it's really good, and you're like, boy, I hope they don't hate it, because that would be embarrassing. But no, he really liked it, so that's good. Watched the new Jungle Cruise with my parents because we were like, but what if we did? And then we did. The whole time I was watching that movie, I was like, this is fun or whatever. But if it had been made in like the Pirates of the Caribbean era of Disney sensibility, it would have been a really good movie. And I could literally see it in my mind's eye watching that movie, which was so sad. Back when they were also making movies about other Disney rides. They should have made this movie about a Disney ride. But, whatever. Watched Resident Evil Vendetta again, because I was feeling sad. And I finished the CGI Resident Evil show that's on Netflix, finally. There's only 4 episodes, but it took me like 4 months to finish it. Because, it just be like that. I am not planning on watching a movie for the rest of my life ever again, because the new expansion for Final Fantasy just came out, and that's gonna be my life. But I did get my Blu-ray of Company in the mail, so I'll watch that, and then nothing else ever again.
Yeah. It's short. It's okay. It's like 58 minutes.
Yeah, it is. It's not very long.
I've never actually listened to Company all the way through, so I'm interested to watch this, which is, I think, will probably be an interesting experience for me. Mm-hmm. But
fuck yeah.
So I watched Crash, the David Cronenberg movie, not the shitty Oscar bait movie from the 2000s. The one where people
I was going to ask
fuck each other over like
it's the car sex. It's the car sex movie.
Yeah, with James Spader, which is so funny because we were just talking in the last episode about like movie ratings, and how we never think about them anymore. So I got this DVD of Crash from the library, and before I started it, they're like, hey, do you want to watch the R version or the NC-17 version? And I was like, literally?
Yo!
Like,
what?
In what universe does a person see that in front of them and go, oh, I'm going to watch the rated R version. I'm gonna watch the one with less sex in it. I think that's gonna be the one.
You're in the privacy of your own home.
We have
all
seen
bets are off.
so much sex movie discourse recently. You know, there are a lot of people that would have been like, "No, I'm gonna pick the rated R version."
I mean, the thing is,
I respect people who don't want to. I have to obviously, I respect people who are like, "Sex makes me uncomfortable." That's legit. Live your life. But if that's true, why are you watching the car sex
That's
movie?
the thing. It's like, who plugs in Crash with James Spader and goes,
who thinks
maybe
there's
not.
There's a level of car sex I'm willing to put up with.
How maybe the one with less of the freaky, strange homoerotic. Yeah, it's obviously, and it's so weird that I was thinking while watching it, this isn't that. I mean, people are literally having sex literally every other second of this movie, but so do not take my word for it. It was a very good movie. I liked it. I also watched After Hours, the Martin Scorsese film. I watched Sabrina, the original Sabrina with Audrey Hepburn. I rewatched Original Cast Album Company, and then also finally saw the episode of Documentary Now that is on the Criterion Blu-ray of Original Cast Album Company, which is Original Cast Album Co-op, which is the episode that John Mulaney and Seth Meyers wrote together that is a stunningly accurate parody to the point where it's basically the same movie of Original Cast Album Company.
I cannot wait.
With John Mulaney as Stephen Sondheim. It is very good.
This raises my opinion of Seth Rogen so much I can't even articulate
not
it.
Seth Rogen, Seth Meyers.
Not Seth Rogen, Seth Meyers. What the fuck? For a second that you said Seth Rogen, I was like, shut the front fucking door. All right, I don't actually know who Seth Meyers is.
Yeah, he's an SNL guy. He's a former, he used to host Weekend Update. And now he has his own little show. There was an interview with him and John Mulaney where they talking how they talked to Stephen Sondheim about it, and Sondheim was like, I don't think he watched it. He's like, I don't think many people who haven't seen the movie are gonna get it, and they're like, yeah, we don't care. We did it because we're nerds. So I mad respect to them. I am also in the process of being slowly murdered and embalmed by season 3 of Succession. Very excited for that process to continue. Most importantly, perhaps I finished Twin Peaks: The Return, which we do not have time to get into that right now. It was, a life-changing experience, obviously, because it's Twin Peaks: The Return, but tonight is not the night. Some other night. Hit me up.
We're just gonna put Helena in a box and let them do their own bonus episode about Twin Peaks.
It's so wild that you said that. That's literally the plot of Twin Peaks. Is putting somebody in a box and letting them talk. It's what happens to Kyle MacLachlan at the end of Twin Peaks.
As we've established, I'm basically clairvoyant when it comes to movie plots.
Yep. It's what happens.
Anyway.
That's me.
That's dope. Oh shit, it's me. There's only 3 people on this podcast.
Except for Kermit.
I don't know what I was waiting for. So I actually watched more new movies than rewatches. Also, I've been gone for a hot minute. But I know I put on Sherlock Holmes, the 2009 Robert Downey Jr. Lost Sherlock Holmes in the background, and then mostly fell asleep during it, which was I don't have very many movies that become background noise for me. Most of the ones that I want to watch over and over again, I want to pay attention to. But this movie has become background noise for me, parenthetical affectionate. So that's fun. And then I saw Underworld for the first time, which was fucking weird, but actually not a bad movie to watch when you're drunk and have just been broken up with. But I also, in terms of theater stuff, I saw The French Dispatch, the first, the middle third of which sucks in comparison to the first and third thirds. I'm sorry.
I get you.
Timothée Chalamet is so frustrating in that movie that he makes Frances McDormand worse.
Oh no.
I respect people who think that he's the greatest thing since Marlon Brando. You're wrong.
Yeah.
And then I saw Dune, which he was actually perfectly fine and quite good in, and it's the only thing that I have not found him excruciatingly boring in. So there's that. Great movie. That's not how you light night scenes in the desert. but I'll take my I'll just go back and watch Mad Max Fury Road or Lawrence of Arabia again. And I saw Belfast, which was an unparalleled delight. And if anybody wants to tell me that means I have middle-brow taste in films, you can eat my entire ass. It's great. It's fabulous. It's also fucking funny as hell. I don't know if that's just Kenneth Branagh or somebody did his jokes, but anyway, that movie's great. It's gonna win a bunch of Oscars, and I'm gonna feel personally vindicated.
Fantastic. I hope it does. I hope that I think there's gonna be some actor nominees. The competition
will be stiff, dude. Ciarán Hinds is like one of the most charismatic men ever born.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
He's gonna break my heart. I know it.
Dude, please. It's gonna be good. Also, there's something extremely emotional about Judi Dench, who is literally one of the two most highly decorated actors in the entirety of Britain, who has just been in Ken Branagh's movies for like a bazillion years, sort of playing his grandma. I wept.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. But we're here to talk about other things that made me fucking sob, such as the absolutely unparalleled body of work of Stephen Sondheim.
Yeah. I will say,
go get the lyric books. Go get the lyric books. They're worth it. They're like the coolest thing fucking ever. I remember when the first one came out and I just like lost my shit.
Yeah, they're incredible. You're gonna learn so much about just like songwriting and theater and the shows themselves. And most of the reason that I was like have listened to all of his stuff is because I made the correct decision to familiarize myself with the ones I didn't know by listening to them on my headphones while reading the lyrics when I got to each individual show. It is a fantastic experience. Highly recommend. Please do those. There's also a new book out, if you can get a hold of it. It's quite expensive, called Putting It Together, which is the oral history of Sunday in the Park with George. So you should look for that as well. That's on my holiday list. How expensive is that? It's $40, which is like for a larger book, not that bad, but that's also fair. Like still
I need it.
Yeah, I need it.
Okay, hey Helena, do you want to just get each other copies of that for winter solstice?
Well, so I may have already mentioned to my parents for them to get one for me.
That's a better idea.
But I'll remember that for you. I will say really quickly too that like I don't want to dwell on this too much because so much of what's been great about the past week is that this has brought a lot of people together to share the really great things about Sondheim and how he's touched every one of our lives and how his music means so much to us. But I found out about this in like literally the worst possible way, which was from a Slack notification on my phone while I was taking the subway home in New York, which is the worst place to find out about anything other than like, oh, the train is moving faster than normal. Like that's the only thing that you want to hear, which never happens. So anytime anything is being told to you, you're like, I don't want to hear this. It was really not a good place to find out about it. I was very bereft for a few days, and I still am. But I think that like the next important stage of that grief is this process where we talk about how awesome he was and what a great legacy he left behind. So I'm really happy to be doing this. Yeah. I guess, do we start chronologically? We have, you're right, we have written it out like that, haven't we?
Helena, you're the one who made this Google Doc, and just start talking.
Okay.
It's Patter song time if we're gonna get through this.
It's 11 o'clock at night in New York City, we're doing it. Saturday night is his first show that actually didn't get produced it was written back in the 50s. It was supposed to be produced. It never did until like the 90s or something. So it's a fun little show. It's very like very much, this is my first work. But there is some good stuff in there. It's a little frothy, little New York musical. And the opening song, like the titular song, is like such an earworm that every time I see the word Saturday night in or out of context, I think dun, 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 Saturday night alone, and then like people look at me like I'm insane. That Saturday night, you can find it on Spotify. Like you can find so much of this like in any like an Apple Music and Spotify and elsewhere on the internet. Like this music is available. Please seek it out. We wrote literally nothing about Gypsy, which is so funny.
Okay, that's a whole other fucking podcast, dude.
Yeah, true. West Side Story, which actually did come before that, which of course he just did the lyrics for. I am not exaggerating at all when I say that I don't know the person that I would be today without West Side Story, like specifically the original Broadway cast recording of West Side Story, which I played repeatedly on my CD player as a kid before going to sleep at night. I know every single fucking note of that show.
Helena, when are we just gonna get married?
Getting married today. I'm getting married.
Fuck.
Can't believe you guys are getting married without me.
You're gonna be there, man. You're the
yeah.
This is why we need to have you watch the company documentary, because you're gonna be the third person in that song who's singing about how insane I am, and so you're Paul and I'm Amy.
God, yeah, no, you're right. I feel like I should be offended, but mostly you're just right.
Only in this particular instance, but Maddie, of course you're there. Of course you're there.
Yeah,
like you're always gonna be invited. Yeah, West Side Story fucking rips. I was thinking about this the other day because Tick Tick Boom came out recently, right? And which is a show.
I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet either. I'm fully prepared that it's gonna probably make me cry, even though I was heavily resisting it just because it's like a Jonathan Larson musical directed by Lin-Manuel Miranda, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be but a lot of people have been saying it's quite good, actually, and Andrew Garfield, of course, I stan him. I love him forever. So I'm going to watch it. Tick, Tick, Boom, of course, being like a partly autobiographical musical about Jonathan Larson's experience as a playwright and songwriter. So it was on my mind that listening to the reprise of Tonight, the quintet, at the end of, like, towards the end of Act 1, is probably the first time I heard counterpoint in a musical, not knowing that that's what it was called then. And then when I was 12, I heard it again in Christmas Bells, which is a 6-minute song in Rent that is not in the movie. And all my friends were like, why do you like this song? It's so bad and it's not in the movie. And I was like, it rips because it's a 6-minute counterpoint song. Of course I loved it. And I didn't recognize that was literally already the Sondheim brainworms getting to me. And then again, like when I listened to Sweeney Into the Woods, I was like, oh, okay, it's this guy again. I still didn't know what it was called until like years later when I read the lyric books. And I just kind of find it like it's not lost on me the legacy of Sondheim in that he writes this musical before my parents are born, which clearly was an influence on Jonathan Larson, who was about the same age as my parents, had he not passed away in the 90s. Who was like he was a mentor to and a friend to Jonathan Larson. And I was thinking like, oh, it's so obvious now to me that you can hear Sondheim's influence everywhere in that. I was thinking about the opening to La Vie Boheme when the waiter is trying to keep them out of the restaurant. Just that little bit where he's like, no, please, no, not tonight. Please, no, Mr. Can't you go? Not tonight. Can't have a scene. Like that whole bit even. I was like, well, that's...
Yeah.
That's just there.
Hey, there it is.
There it is. It's everywhere in the show. And it's really moving to me that like this guy influenced this writer who then, and like... gave me the ability to recognize his impact on this other writer separately in my bedroom like years later. Like it's just so incredible how far-reaching his impact is. West Side Story is great. The new version of it is coming out soon. Apparently, some people think it's quite good, so we'll see. I still hate Ansel Elgort. I think he's cautiously a black optimistic hole of charisma, but whatever.
I am cautiously optimistic. I am much less optimistic now that I have been informed that it is not, in fact, Alden Ehrenreich who's starring in West Side Story. It's the other dude. It's the fucking guy who's... Okay.
Yeah, eggplant.
Ansel Elgort may as well... looks like a snippet of the, pre-generated nonsense text that you get in Microsoft Publisher. This dude's name may as well be Lorem Ipsum. Secondly, I don't know what he looks like, and my brain refuses to fix him in my mind. So I just keep forgetting he exists and substituting other actors that I then think are him, and it's never him. Because it used to be Garrett Hedlund, and now it's Alden Ehrenreich. And I just am like, oh, that's Alden Ehrenreich, right? No, that guy's less... I'm like, no, he's more boring. Anyway.
Alden Ehrenreich...
West Side Story...
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Do we think that he can sing? Because
no idea.
I'm very worried about Maria.
I have no idea, because I was just about to open my mouth and be like, if he can't sing Maria,
I'm gonna start.
What is the point of this movie?
Yeah.
There's no point, because that is just...
I mean, is he? Yeah, I mean...
It's so... Okay, alright, I need to get weird about West Side Story for 1 second. Which is that... And just also generally, each Sondheim show has its own vernacular.
Mm.
The way that the characters talk and sing in the words that they choose in Sondheim shows are incredibly specific to them. You can pick a lyric. If you know a show, you pick a lyric and you think, oh, only that character would say that, until they pick things up from each other when it's thematically significant. But also, you just fucking know what show it came from.
Yeah.
Because they're so... Everything inside of the show is so specific and coherent, and there are much wittier Sondheim lyrics than the stuff in West Side Story, but you say it soft and it's almost like praying is
oh god.
I'm struggling to it's so simple, but and it's devastating, because it's you have these characters who, their love is in a weird way simple. The circumstances are complicated, but what they feel for each other is incredibly simple and powerful in its simplicity.
Yeah.
And so you get these simple, plain, perfect expressions. And I die anyway.
When I was a kid, my favorite West Side Story song was G Officer Krupke, which is obviously the funniest song in the show.
It is. It's so fucking great.
Now,
but as an adult, I think mine is Maria.
Yeah, I feel like mine has changed also to Something's Coming, which is...
Something's Coming is so fucking good,
so gorgeous, and it speaks exactly to that you're talking about. It's just that perfect simplicity. It's only thing it is about a guy anticipating something exciting happening to him. That's it. But it takes on this just divine, it's so gorgeous and perfect. And you can just feel anyway. Can't get lost. We're only on the second show in.
Yeah, we got it.
Moving on. I feel like I'm getting through this by imagine the version of Matty in my head has a little old fashioned stopwatch, and it's just Matty in my head. You are dressed like the fucking running coach from Chariots of Fire, brandishing a stopwatch and muttering about steps between hurdles, but it's words between fucking shows on this list. We're skipping Gypsy.
You're skipping Gypsy.
Yeah,
Maddie,
I think that's fine.
Gypsy is its own steez.
Maddie, that's your Halloween costume for next year. So
is
there you go.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Is that Ian Holm? Am I hallucinating, or is that Ian Holm?
It could be.
I don't know.
I haven't seen Chariots of Fire since I was in
I've
middle
never
school.
seen it.
It could be. It could not be. Skipping
The thing
Gypsy.
about, because of course of course I got Chariots of Fire out of the library when I was in, like, middle or early high school.
Yeah.
Because I'm gay.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, no.
That is just such a little thing, but, like, there are so many little things about, like, the stuff that I was obsessed with when I was, like, ages, like, 12 to 16 that are just, like, you're a boy. And I'm like, it's like, you're a boy and you're gay.
Chariots of Fire is literally just a movie about a bunch of guys wearing shorts. That's literally all it's about.
Yes!
Fuck.
Yeah.
It's about my, like, I was obsessed with just the category of things that I was obsessed with was literally just the fucking intricate ritual, like, collage. Anyway,
form.
Yeah, we're just...
Okay.
Yeah, have you seen the little clip from the BBC proms that includes Simon Russell Beale and some other dudes doing a little soft shoe shuffle to Everybody Ought to Have a Maid?
No, but I did see it recommended on YouTube, so I have to watch it because that song is so funny.
Everybody ought to have a maid.
Very, very good musical.
Working girl.
Anyway,
Anyway, it's fucking funny.
I am a really big fan
Sorry.
of the Lovely reprise, which he talks about. So Lovely, the original version of Lovely is a song sung by the courtesan, Philia, about how lovely she is, which includes the line, Helena and her 1,000 ships would have to die of shame, which is one of my favorite single lines in that show.
Yeah.
But then the reprise, for farcical reasons, the servant Hysterium has to disguise himself as Philia in order to fool Miles Gloriosus, who they're trying to... Anyway, farce reasons. And so the entire song about Sigillus convincing him to dress up, and Sondheim was like talking about that in the lyric book. He's like, the great thing about this song is it started out as this kind of like he's very resistant to being called lovely and having to dress up like a woman, and then slowly during the song he starts feeling like more beautiful and more confident than he's ever felt throughout the entire fucking show and also his life, and it becomes this really great number for him, and he's insisting that Pseudolus give him flowers and jewelry, and it's so good.
Thanks for the drag anthem, Steve.
Yeah. As far as drag anthems from the 60s go in Broadway musicals for straight people, it's very, very delicious. Anyone Can Whistle.
Okay, the plot of this is insane.
It's insane.
Like,
I still don't understand it.
I don't understand it, and I am like a notable Anyone Can Whistle stan. But I think that's just because, like, for whatever reason, obviously I've been obsessed with Sondheim since I was, like, a preteen. But and I wanted to do it for, like, competitions and shit. And what I landed on, weirdly, is Anyone Can Whistle. Because over the course of my life for, like, auditions and competitions and stuff, I've done the title song, Anyone Can Whistle, There Won't Be Trumpets, Everybody Says Don't, and With So Little to Be Sure Of. Like, what am I doing? Except for the part where all of those songs fuck unbelievably hard.
They're very good, is the thing. And
dude, no, just the title song, Anyone Can Whistle, is like,
it's a song about not knowing how to love like a normal person, and it kills me.
It's so that song is queer as fuck. Also, just maybe you could show me how to let go. It learned to be like, maybe you could show me, and like it's that song is about being gay anyway.
Yeah, it is. I still like, I listened to the 10-minute number Simple, and I was like, wow, this I still don't know what this show is about. This song is very fun, but I don't know what this show is about. But Anyone Can Whistle is a very beautiful song.
Being one of my all-time favorite Sondheim lyrics is, being sure enough of you makes me sure enough of me. Like, he had this, god, that's, speaking of Stephen Sondheim in the past tense, it's just, like, hard.
Yeah.
He has this way of, like like, some of these lyrics, it's like you've never thought of it until you hear it, and then it's like the truest thing you've ever heard. Which I think is probably how most people talk about, like, I don't know, religion or whatever, but
exactly.
Yeah, Anyone Can Whistle is bizarre, but also glorious.
Yeah. Do I Hear a Waltz is one where he only did the lyrics. I say only did the lyrics. He did the lyrics with Mary Rogers. I am quite fond of that one because that's another one where I'm like, stop perceiving me, mortifying ideal of being known. There's a song about called Here We Are Again, which is a 6-minute number where all of the couples are walking around singing little bits, and the main character is singing to herself, like, here we are again, basically, like, just the two of us, just like us, just you and me, and it's like, stop it. It's a very, I think it's a really lovely musical. I know that it wasn't, like, exactly what he hoped for, in terms of, like, what he was trying to achieve, but I think it's nice. Evening Primrose.
The single weirdest thing I have ever asked for Hanukkah was the, combo CD of The Frogs and Evening Primrose. Trying to explain that to my parents was pretty fucking funny. I was like 15.
Love it.
Evening Primrose is, it's another sort of, like, weird one, where it's this sort of funky little thing about, like, people who live in a department store. But everybody should go listen to, there's like a 3 or 4 songs from it that Mandy Patinkin and Bernadette Peters recorded, and in particular Bernadette Peters singing a song called I Remember is like, it's kind of magic.
Lyrics are beautiful.
The lyrics are really beautiful. And it's yeah, that's one of the ones where, like, the plot's fucking wacko. Like, this girl has lived in this dude, like, decides to go, like, move into a department store because he doesn't want to, like, deal with, like, life. And then he, like, gets there and there's, like, people who live in the department store, which kind of makes me think that, like, the person who wrote From the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Baisley, Frank Weiler, was a fan of this.
Wasn't Anthony Perkins in a version of this? It's like this little tiny period with
I believe so.
Primrose and Company, where he was trying to get Perkins into a show because they were not to be that person, but they were dating. And he was like, yeah,
they were certainly throwing insane murder mystery parties, apparently.
They were indeed. And Company,
God, life goals.
Like, I think that was the original. I think he actually talked about that. So, full disclosure, I don't know why it's a disclosure. When I rewatched Company this past week, I actually rewatched it twice because fuck you, it's 58 minutes. And I watched it once with his commentary. Sondheim's commentary, and he was saying, like, oh yeah, we originally for Bobby we wanted to get Anthony Perkins in the role of Bobby, and I was like, okay, I love Dean Jones, obviously, I think he's very good in the part, but oh my Christ, the idea of that is
like, I'm sorry, you just fried my brain.
Makes me so mad. 60s era, like oh god. Anyway. Whew.
Helena, don't think too hard about it.
I can't think too hard about it, which is a nice segue into Company, which, considering the fact that I really only started listening to it a couple years ago or a year and a half ago, rewired my brain pretty fucking quickly. It is polyphonic counterpoint heaven. It is, there's so much energy in that show that is just infectious, and it's also incredibly sad, and never in a way that feels like, well, until you get to Being Alive, never in a way that feels heavy and impossible to push through. It's just this underlying layer. I think the thing that Sondheim said was, like, this was the first time where I think the underlying tone of a show or a musical had been irony rather than just, like, pure, like, happy ending or tragedy. It was just like,
Company opened in 1970. Like, that's insane to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep talking. It is so... I mean, I hate calling things ahead of their time. That's like a pointless comment.
But it was.
Is.
It changed. Yeah. It was one of the first, if not the first, musicals or shows.
It wasn't ahead of its time because it created a different kind of musical.
Exactly. It was the first one, or one of the first anyway. Some people have brought up Showboat as an example, but that was like, you don't have to have a plot. You literally don't have to have a plot. You can just have vignettes, and you can still create an important piece of theater and make a musical out of it. And people were like, oh shit, no, really? And then it happened. I remember the first time I listened to Being Alive, I, for some reason, was inspired to listen to it separately before any other song in the show, and I listened to Raul Esparza's version from the 2008 production. And I listened to it while I was at work sorting books, and I was like, aha, okay.
Oh.
He's done it again, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, Company is a great show.
Truly the mortifying ordeal of being known. I just would like to brag very briefly, because when the version of Company with Raul Esparza aired on PBS in, what was that, like 2008?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, yeah, I got my dad to record it on VHS.
Oh, delicious.
I had this VHS for an incredibly long time, and then I made my parents watch it with me, and that is why my parents are Sondheim fans.
You did it. It is Company, isn't it? Because that's the one where I was like, because my parents are not traditionally Sondheim fans either. And so I was like, I got into Company, and I was like, this feels like if I own any single record on vinyl, even though I don't own a record player, I want to own Company on vinyl.
Company is the least abstracted.
Yes.
Of all of the Sondheim shows.
Yeah.
It's the most naturalistic, which is an insane thing to say considering
how complex it is.
Have you heard Company?
Yeah.
Also, I always forget because my go-to was always the Raul Esparza revival of Company. That was the one that I listened to ad fucking nauseum and then I like finally kind of let the original Broadway cast album have its due, and like, dude, the fucking orchestrations for that musical are insane. They're just bananas, and I say that with like all the admiration it is possible to pack into the word. They're bug fuck insane.
Especially that becomes very clear too when you're watching the documentary too, especially during I think they highlight it really well in Another 100 People, how many instruments are playing how many different parts, and just like fucking shit.
Yeah.
Okay. It's great. It's very accessible. I got my parents were like, oh, this is actually quite enjoyable. I was like, thank you. Thank you. Follies?
I have one more thing to say about Company because I'm gonna crawl up my own ass for a second. I was listening to it on the way home literally today, and my brain just kind of like flew directly out of the top of my head because it just went, wow, this is a soundscape of a city. And the like that layered polyphonic counterpoint is like a city is just a bunch of people living their own like similar but not the same patterns on top of each other and like interwoven into each other, which is that whole musical. But that is also like what a friend group is.
Yeah.
And it just exquisite.
I'm never going to be able to listen to it now after you've said that in the same way.
Well, you're welcome.
My shit. I'm very excited to go back to it. I literally just like listened to it all the way through immediately, like 4 days ago, but I'm listening to it again.
Do it again. Start again.
Follies. Yes.
Follies.
I love Follies.
So,
it's very sad.
People say that Follies is unstageable. It's not. Try harder.
Yeah.
It's difficult, but it's not impossible.
You staged your 1920s ghost musical? What, like it's hard?
Yeah, just do it. Yeah, exactly. The weird thing is that Company is about getting old and Follies is about having gotten old.
Oh, bro. Yeah.
I'm just like, I've developed like fucking undergrad, English class discussion brain, apparently. But, like, yeah.
I don't know what I was looking at, which led me to this. I was, like, late in bed trying to distract myself. And somebody mentioned Elaine Stritch performing I'm Still Here, and I was like, okay, I'll watch a little bit of this. And I just found myself immediately sucked in. It was for one of those concerts where they were all, a bunch of people were doing multiple numbers. And so she was standing on stage in a circle surrounded by, like, Patti LuPone and Bernadette and Audra McDonald watching her sing this number. And Elaine said famously that, my good friend Elaine Stritch, like, nobody under 80 should even try performing this song.
No!
And Elaine Stritch had not the world's most beautiful voice, but she could sing. Her voice was not the most beautiful, but fucking hell could she sell a song. And there's something so amazing about seeing her up there in her 80s, just like, fully giving it to this number. It's so moving. I highly recommend looking it up.
They broke the fucking mold on Elaine Stritch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's great.
Follies. I love Follies. I love it. I love the sort of weird double entendre almost of, like, the Follies, a folly being, like, a specific kind of theatrical performance, but also the idea of, like, the folly of, all of the things that have happened to these characters, all of the things that they thought were going to happen, the way they thought their lives were going to be, the lies that they tell each other, the lies that they tell themselves. It's that musical is wall-to-wall incredible roles for middle-aged women. Like, if I swear to God, if Broadway learns one thing from Stephen Sondheim, I want it to be that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and just, like, oh God, I don't even know. If you can, I guess National Theater National Theater at Home now exists, so, like, I don't have to just not, capital N, not tell people to pirate things. If you can watch the revival with Imelda Staunton, you fucking should.
Yeah. She's great.
Because it's a huge fucking bop. I mean, just like The Road You Didn't Take, dude. The Road You Didn't Take, in Buddy's Eyes. Even, like, I'm obsessed with Waiting for the Girls Upstairs.
Me too.
Like, that's just one of my, like, silly...
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with that song. God, Why Don't You Leave Me Blues?
That one too?
Unreal. You're Gonna Love Tomorrow.
Exactly.
Like, oh God, Could I Leave You? I shit you not. So my like, voice teacher in high school, like, kind of just did this thing where she was, like, looking at me a lot. She was like, for some fucking weird reason, your voice sounds like a 45-year-old woman, which is how I ended up with a bunch of, like, Mrs. Lovett songs, and also doing Could I Leave You for a review. I was, like, 17.
The one where she says, could I bury my rage with a boy half your age in
Yes!
the grass? Yeah.
Yes!
That's your ass.
Yeah, exactly. I got to say ass in front of a bunch of stuck-up parents. It was delightful.
Hell yeah.
I mean, and obviously, like, Losing My Mind.
Yeah.
Like, what are you even supposed to say about Losing My Mind?
There's something also really special, and if you listen to the original Broadway cast, and also, so with Into the Woods, typically I recommend the original Broadway cast of Into the Woods, but the revival, which
because the London revival sucks.
the Broadway revival from 2004, which I listened to a lot in high school because that's the version that our teachers gave us of Into the Woods. So John McMartin, who played the original Ben in Follies, plays the old man in Into the Woods.
Son of a bitch.
Listening to Follies in the revival of Into the Woods. So when I listened to Follies for the first time, I was like, oh, this is gonna hurt me emotionally. Road You Didn't Take, the line, like, the Ben I'll never be, who remembers him? Fucking hell, yeah. Great.
Yeah, that one, like, right around the time when I was, like, having a series of mental breakdowns about, like, you know, having dropped out of my fancy liberal arts college and having to, like, reinvent myself, anyway.
Yeah.
We don't want to talk about how many. Yeah, you can fill in the blanks there.
Yep. Little Night Music.
I
adore Little Night Music.
Little Night Music is like Little Night
Perfect.
Music is. And it is perfect. It is a laundry list of things you could say about it, and it's also Stephen Sondheim fucking showing off, and he earns it.
Yeah. It's
like, why is this entire musical in multiples of 3/4 time coherency, motherfucker?
Yeah, because he wanted to. Because he's like, yeah. So the whole like opening number,
like, because I can.
Like the show opens, and then the act one opens and then ends with 2 songs which are their own argument for the existence and necessity of counterpoint, bar none, like in the history of music.
Yeah.
Now Later Soon is incredible. Len Carew, I was really appreciating the other day in the original cast, like, was so just delicate with that, like hitting all of the T's and D's and just perfect diction on that, which makes it so much funnier.
I don't know if they just like stopped teaching diction in like the musical theater fucking University of Michigan to Broadway pipeline, but like you listen to stuff now and everyone's diction is shit.
Yeah, but when you have to say stuff like
I'm like
ignoring her penchant for something too frantic, what is it? Something I can't even do the line. I can't even do the line. No. It's brilliant. Something Dickens too frantic. It's like you have to hit. He has to hit it that way, and he does.
You have to.
Every single woman in that show.
Because Len Carew is a fucking.
He's a star.
No, again with the women. Again. with women who are real people.
Yeah, and every single one of them gets a song. I mean, I'm counting for Frederica. She doesn't really get her own song, but in the screen adaptation, she does get her own version of A Glamorous Life, which is a really beautiful number, and I think should be counted as part of the show. Fuck you. So every single one of them, all various ages, gets their own number.
Also, if you haven't seen it now, like, literally pause this podcast right now and listen to Judi Dench singing Send in the Clowns. We'll wait.
She did it. She's the one.
Dude!
Yeah.
Making my entrance again with my usual fun. Anyway, Everyday Little Death is one of my favorite Sondheim pieces, but weirdly, I feel like I slept on The Miller's Son, and now I'm just like, I am obsessed with that fucking song.
It's incredible. It's
so
fucking hard to sing.
I love it.
Let me tell you that.
Oh my god, yeah, believe me. I wish I hadn't made that noise.
I like the opening up the beginning part. I'm like, okay, got it. Like so for those of you who don't know, I became obsessed with Little Night Music very soon after listening to it, and I printed out a lot of the music. I have sung Send in the Clowns. I've learned Everyday Little Death. I've learned other stuff. So I was like, Miller's Son. I love this
Helena,
song.
If I am in Portland, when you're in Portland, can we just I will go relearn it. Can we just do Everyday Little
We're
Death?
doing a musical review for our friends, is basically what's happening.
All right, let's do it.
But
I'm sure we'll get Madeline on Skype from her vacation.
But the Miller's Son is fine at the begining, and it's fine at the end. But that fucking middle bit, it's like when he's saying,
runs.
"Where's the tune? What is the tune of this?" What? It's so fast, and I can't do it.
Yeah.
I hoped one day to learn, but it's literally like bada 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 bada, and I'm like, I know this is your thing, my dude, and I love you for it, but also kill me.
Mood.
The frogs, all I have to say about the frogs is that you should listen to it, and there's a line which is the evocation to the audience where he says, "Please don't fart." There's very little air on This Is Art.
Very little air. This is art.
And this is why Stephen Sondheim is the most important lyricist of the 21st century. Also, Nathan Lane kills that line.
He does. Nathan Lane doing Sondheim is just like the revival of funny thing with Nathan Lane. I mean, Nathan Lane is just a natural
one of
treasure.
life's great joys is Nathan Lane.
But
doing Sondheim.
just Nathan Lane doing Sondheim, truly one of life's great pleasures.
All right.
Okay.
Wow. Pacific Overtures.
So it's Pacific Overtures. So the thing is like on the one hand, what can we say about Pacific Overtures that like people with like actual degrees and like paid columns in newspapers have not already said about Pacific Overtures? The answer is I don't give a shit. I'm going to talk about it anyway. How do you do that?
Well, I'm just gonna say.
I mean, the answer is like
I'm just gonna say it through like what my 3 favorite songs are. Someone in a Tree is there's nothing I can say about Someone in a Tree that can't be achieved by just going and listening to it. It is
once again, go do it. We'll still be here.
It is a religious experience. It is one of the only songs I've ever listened to that is its own argument for someone being touched by the divine while writing songs. It is it is. It's perfect. Please Hello, I have been listening to on fucking repeat for the past 5 days. It is 9 minutes long. It's my second favorite song of the show. And that's another one where, like, in Little Night Music, I'm like, you are bragging right now. Like, because this is a song. So Pacific Overtures being a song about Japan opening up to trade after isolating itself from the rest of, like, the Western world for many, many years. And overtures being, of course, a play on musical overtures and then overtures of, like, you know, political and warfare nature. Great sentence. So Please Hello is a song in the second act, which is all of these Western countries. It's the United States, Britain, the Netherlands, Russia, and France coming to Japan with various proposals and not so much proposals as requests and demands for different treaties and exchanges what they want to get from them, and they're like, we'll give you this, you give us this, and all of them talking over each other and contradicting each other and saying, well, wait, if they're getting that, I want this, you don't want what they want, you want what we want. So that's the conceit of it. It is 5 different musical styles. Pacific Overtures up to that point has been very faithful into trying to bringing in a lot of the poetry and like rhythm of Japanese music into a sort of Broadway style. It opens with a Sousa march as the United States person comes on and sings his bit. Then the British envoy comes in and starts doing a fucking Gilbert and Sullivan patter, which is amazing because Sondheim did not like Gilbert and Sullivan, but he's like, whatever, I'll kill it anyway. Then the Dutch envoy comes in, does his own, like, they're written in the styles of the country's own musical style from that period, like what if they're like I don't know the name of the one for the Dutch and the Russian, but the French envoy, who's the last envoy, comes in. It's the style of a can, and they're all singing over each other in their own musical styles. Also, the entire song is 100% historically accurate in terms of everything that they offered.
And it sounds good.
And it's hilarious. Like, it's a banger. And he's like, I'm going to use counterpoint because I like it. Like, people teach this song in history classes because of how accurate it is. Yeah. Also, he's like, while I'm at it, I'll just make fun of the French for not bathing. Why not get that singer in there? There is an internal rhyme which I love very much in the French part, where not just because of how it is on paper, but it's like leaves a grain, leaves a train, put champagne upon your imports. But also, like, musically, when he hits that, it's so satisfying. It's unbelievably good. I can't even with this song. And then Chrysanthemum Tea is then my third favorite. Every single one of these songs is, like, you know, upwards of 7 minutes long.
I swear at one point I was, like, at your parents' house and, like, went to, like, go, like, make tea or whatever, and, like, saw a box of Chrysanthemum Tea and did the thing, started, like, humming that, because you do the same thing.
I do.
We're just, like, looking at each other.
I've never seen anybody, I've never been to anybody else's house who has Chrysanthemum Tea, but for some reason this past couple years, my mom had Chrysanthemum Tea. And I started listening to Pacific Overtures, and now literally every time I see it, I would start singing it. It's a great song.
And it's so satisfying because it gives you, the actor performing it, so much to do with just the increasing, like, clenched teeth behind each iteration of the have some tea. It's so like
Please have some tea. It's an herb that's superb for disturbances
at sea. It's like it captures so beautifully like how frustrating like customer service basically is.
Yeah, it does.
I'm also gonna throw out, I didn't put this on the list, but I am gonna throw in for a bowler hat.
Oh yeah, that one's lovely.
That song breaks my heart.
I would also like to throw in addition to that, Pretty Lady, which
oh my god,
I listened to one time in bed with the lights off, and it was like haunting, beautiful. And then I was like, oh, this is also a bit of dissonance it's creeping in here too at the same time. Gorgeous, amazing show.
Pacific Overtures is just like
man. Sorry about the volumes on this episode, Maddie, in terms of like...
Yeah, God, me too.
Let me see.
Okay.
Sweetie Todd.
We have to talk about Sweeney Todd.
This changed my life.
Dude, the show is so funny. It's so funny. It's so funny.
It's so funny.
This was the one, weirdly, like... Because I was trying to pick something, because I was skipping around, like, on the, when I was just, like, skipping through songs and crying. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I have to pick something and stick with it. And I was like, I haven't listened to the original Broadway cast recording of Sweeney Todd in a really long time. And I just, like, sat on my bedroom floor in front of my heat vent and, like, and it was the perfect choice because it made me laugh. Mm-hmm. Which made me stop crying.
Yeah.
And it's horror. It's the back to what we were talking about with like the comedy and horror, or like horror comedy episode where like, the humor makes the horror more horrific and the jokes funnier.
Yeah.
You have the entirety of A Little Priest set against, the Mrs. Lovett furiously panicked reprise little snatches of By the Sea before she gets murdered, and then of course everything related to the Joanna Quartet.
Oh my god. That is my favorite song. I wanted to say here, like, obviously everything about loving Sondheim is like this show or that show, this song and that song, but also like so much of what I enjoy about listening to Sondheim is there's like little tiny brief moments in all of his songs where there's something that just like hits you, like that champagne line in Please Hello. But this one has hit me since I was in high school. It's this in the Joanna reprise quartet. Shortly after like the 3-minute mark, there's a moment where what Sweeney is singing contrasts with Anthony's reprise of Joanna in the background so beautifully that it because I'm not a musician, I'm not a composer, I don't really have the language to describe why what is happening there works so incredibly well. But it hits so hard. And the show is full of moments like that. I do love the original Broadway cast because that was my first, and also the orchestration is just like cannot be beat. I do want to thank you though for introducing me to the Michael Cerveris and Patti LuPone version, because I frankly love how that is played like a sick little parlor musical.
It is.
And every single person in that show, if like when you listen to Kiss Me or Ladies and Their Sensitivities in the original Broadway cast, you're like, oh, these kids are so stupid, but they're so in love. If you listen to Kiss Me and Ladies and Their Sensitivities and that, you're like, oh, Anthony and Joanna are also fucking insane. They're insane.
Yeah.
Everybody in this show has lost their fucking
Everyone
marbles.
in this show is completely just bug fucking insane.
And we're only in Act 1 at that point. Yeah. Yep. I really like that recording. It's very good.
Yeah, one of the absolute for my 16th birthday, I decided I want to have a costume party, and I got everybody to dress up as their favorite Broadway characters.
Of course.
And me and my friend dressed up as Mrs. Lovett and Sweeney Todd, but specifically the versions from that production.
Of course.
Because we had brainworms.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's completely normal.
I just still have brainworms. It's fine. Yeah. We just have the same flavor of brainworms, Helena. Don't worry about it.
That's probably
This
true.
is another one where like city soundscapes are just, I mean, obviously it's like a very, very specific, like stylized, almost like cartoon in the sense of like, you know, you can imagine like an old school political cartoon, like the art on the original posters of London, but it's so, everything about it just, it's so atmospheric.
Yeah.
Okay. It's time for me to talk about Merrily We Roll Along.
Yeah.
Strap in. So, Merrily We Roll Along is sort of like Follies, except Follies, like, you actually just can't do. It's just insanely expensive and fucking bananas. Merrily We Roll Along is, like, conceptually nutto. It's not like the plot doesn't make any sense, like anyone can whistle. The actual concept of the show is bugfuck. It goes backwards. People, like, did not understand this at the time. I feel like now, like, people are used enough to, like, time tell it, like, you know, like storytelling order fuckery or whatever. This was a notable, enormous flop. And, like, the thing about it is that, like, the concept sounds, like, stupid, except for the part where it's totally excellent and genius.
Yeah.
And the idea of unpeeling like following the fault lines down into a story and relationship as you peel the layers back to see how far it goes in this desperate search for where it started. The desperate search for where things went wrong, only to understand that there was no specific point where they went wrong. And the evolution of the artist cannot be separated from the life that they live. I really did type the phrase, anyway, this show is like Hamlet, nobody will ever get the whole thing, but people should never stop trying.
Yep. One of the things
fully believe that.
Sondheim says in Finishing the Hat why he thinks that especially the original Broadway cast didn't work is that they cast a bunch of actors in who were very young, and in their 20s and 30s, who were then, you know, would end up as 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds at the end of the show, but had to play middle-aged characters at the beginning. And he's like, the only person, it was, I think, difficult for them to buy that they were older, with the exception of Jason Alexander, who was, like, born middle-aged. I was like, yeah, you're right. That's true.
Yeah.
I loved Jason Alexander's little bit in that.
World's most loving dunk. Yeah. He's so good in that.
That's very good.
There is if you see it, you know, happen to wander across it somewhere, a professional, like, a pro shot of a London revival of Merrily that, like, it makes some cuts. It's quite good. I will say its main flaw is that everyone in it is so crushingly Gentile that it just doesn't, there's elements of it that don't quite work because no one is a Jew.
Yeah.
And, like, much in the way that, like, none of Sondheim's characters are explicitly Jewish, but also, like, you're not gonna get company right if you don't know any Jews.
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna get Merrily We Roll Along right if you don't know any Jews. You're just not. There's a je ne sais quoi about it. Also, when, in Lady Bird, they put on listeners...
There's two great Sondheim... Well, actually, I could say three great Sondheim moments in that movie.
Yeah.
The first two come during the auditions for Merrily We Roll Along, when Lucas Hedges starts singing Giants in the Sky. I lost my fucking mind.
Yeah.
It was too real. Yep. And then, I can't remember if it's Beanie Feldstein or Saoirse who's saying, Everyone Says Don't. And I was like, great.
It's Beanie Feldstein doing Everybody Says Don't, because that is the most seen. It was painful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, seriously. Just everything about that, going, oh, Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the extent to which that is me anyway. It was sort of just reached out and like delicately started peeling my self to bits.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
No, that's it. And then, like, of course, they do Merrily We Roll Along, and then fantastically, of course, perfect. After the show, Beanie Feldstein goes up to the drama teacher who's sitting disconsolately outside in the lobby, and it's just like, they didn't get it. It's like, yeah, dude, you did Merrily. Like, what did you expect?
They were like, we're doing Merrily We Roll Along, and this is not hyperbole. I was cackling. Like, there was no other word for the, like, noise that I was making. And I was in this, you know, RAP to the Limelight in Bellingham, which was this, like, fucking genuine shoebox. Like, probably, like, maybe a 25-seat little funky little theater. And I saw it there, and I was the only person laughing. And I was like, this was I was laughing like I had never encountered the concept of a joke before. Yeah, so keep doing Merrily We Roll Along. Nobody's ever really gonna like nail it, but that's the beautiful thing about it, because nobody ever really nails anything except for and here it is, folks, Sunday in the Park with George.
Yeah. So when I did find out on the train about Sondheim passing, the first song that I listened to, appropriately enough, was Move On from Sunday in the Park with George.
I haven't listened. I haven't touched Sunday.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, I need to have like an exclusion zone around me.
Yeah.
And just like have everybody leave me alone while I listen to Sunday in the Park with George, or possibly go watch the filmed one with Mandy Patinkin and just like dissolve into my constituent parts.
Yeah. I haven't listened to it all the way through, and I don't think I'll be able to get through it without crying, because I'll tell you, I did listen to Sunday as well, and that was really, really hard. Not even because it's even just like one of the more painful songs, it's just like it's so beautiful and is so frequently done as like this tribute to him when it's been done for his like concerts and everything. And there's just like that clip of the kids, like the choir, singing it for his 80th birthday where he's watching it. So I
want to talk about it.
Yeah. It's like Sunday in the Park with George is like, I think somebody was talking about it in that really beautiful article that I found through you, Ezra. You shared it for the Great Grief Bacon, where they said this is like something that should be theoretically in concept pretentious and shouldn't work, it is the opposite of pretentious to me anyway. I think, of course, if people think that Sondheim is pretentious, you're still going to think a musical that like this is pretentious, but I think it just comes off as being incredibly true and moving and expansive, and possibly one of the best, not possibly, it is one of, if not the best and most moving pieces of art about making art and being an artist that there is. For all of that, again, I was still freaking out about a triple internal rhyme the other day when It's Hot Up Here, they say the soldiers have forgotten us, it's hot and it's monotonous, and like he's already making you rhyme us, like forgotten us with monotonous, which is an insane rhyme anyway, and then still you hit hot, monotonous. The treasure. It's a treasure. I love that show.
I never get tired of Color and Light. Because like the concept of translating pointillist painting into sound sounds like the single most like up its own ass dumb thing you can imagine. And then something about Mandy Patinkin repeating the word blue over and over makes your brain melt in a good way.
Yeah.
And just, I mean, or
Don't
the other one that I know, I am like prepared to just like eviscerate me as children in art. Yeah, that one's gonna get me really hard. I have a friend who's decided to get the order, design, composition, tension, I always forget the last two, like as a tattoo.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because I was thinking about getting a Sondheim tattoo. Yeah. The other one I was thinking of was that lyric from Someone in a Tree, I was there then, I am here still. Either one. Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna go with the Someone in a Tree one. We'll see. I want to like get some art there. I just only cups of tea and history and Someone in a Tree. Everything, God. And now like we're on to Into the Woods next, and all of like I was just like looking up the lyrics to Moments in the Woods because there was a particular lyric that I was trying to get right, and I think like one of the through lines, if you can even say that there is one, in Sondheim is the idea of moments. Mm-hmm. Just that, like, and it's really articulated the most specifically in Moments in the Woods. But like, just, and it's not always the big moments. In fact, so many of these shows sidestep the big moments and go for sort of the thing adjacent to that or before it or right after it, and mine that for expression and truth in a way that just like, it's like so many of these songs are like slightly to the left or right of what the big moment would be in a less Sondheim show. Does that make sense? Yeah, it does.
Yeah, totally. I think so.
Okay.
Matty!
Yeah. Matty, come talk about Into the Woods. Can I say a weird thing about Into the Woods?
Absolutely.
So, when I was 16, I was in a production of Into the Woods that, like, fundamentally changed me as a person. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that, my director asked us to do was not listen to the show. Was like, just don't go listen to it. It was, we're gonna learn our version of this. Don't learn anybody else's. So that was when I was 16. I'm 30. I have never listened to the original Broadway cast of Into the Woods since.
That's fair.
Not once.
It's actually,
which is weird. Because I, like, didn't realize until I was thinking about it. Like, because I was gonna go listen to it, then I thought, I haven't listened to this in 14 years. Like, what the fuck? I still know, like, every word of it by heart. I haven't listened to it in 14 years. Anyway, then I just had to like sit with that shit for a minute.
I was going to say that my version that I listened to is not the original Broadway cast, because when Helena and I did Into the Woods when we were 16, we were given a CD of a different version. I don't remember specifically what cast.
I think it's like the 2004 revival.
That sounds correct.
Is the year? Yeah.
And therefore that is the version that lives in my brain, and listening to any other version is like, sounds weird, even though I know the original Broadway cast is incredible, because that was the first version of Into the Woods I actually saw. Now, you may have noticed, listeners, that I have not been talking much this episode. I don't have a great amount of familiarity with, like, a lot of Sondheim's works. It's something I'm working on, and I have kind of a passing understanding of a lot of them, just by being a musical theater person. But Into the Woods is my musical. I love this show very, very much. And the first time I ever watched it was on a VHS of the original Broadway cast. My dad was doing it for his middle school musical and was watching it just to be like refamiliarize himself with the show, and was like, you should watch this. And I was like, yeah, okay. And you get to the end of Act 1, which is Ever After, and they sing their little song about like everyone who is good got their just ending, everyone who is bad got punished, and all that was wrong is now right. And then the narrator says, to be continued, and that's the end of Act 1. And me at like age 12 or whatever was like, what? Is that not the end? And it isn't. And that really changed how I view storytelling and how I viewed theater and how I viewed musical theater. Was very, very impactful for me. And then we did a production in high school. And that was one of the only good things that high school theater teacher ever did for me, was put on that show.
That was not a bad high school production of Into the Woods, if I do say so myself. Yeah, it was a good one.
And oh my god, I really could. I'm listening to it right now. I'm literally listening to it while we record this podcast. And I could really just go on forever about Into the Woods, but I think there's something about, obviously, after Sondheim's passing, there was a lot of talk on Twitter about like the way he writes about grief, the way he writes about kind of quote unquote the human experience, which is a turn of phrase I don't always super like, but you know, the things that we as people all tend to carry with us, he was so prolific in writing about them and putting them into words and song in ways that are very hard to sometimes. And Into the Woods is very much a musical about grief, and also like grief at someone's passing, and also like the grief of living. And like being a parent, being a child, what does it mean to take what your parents give you just inherently as your parent and like carry it into your future? The being afraid of growing up, being afraid of leaving home. And upon re-listening to it again recently, I realized there's a bit in the end. They obviously they go into the woods a bunch. That's the point of the whole damn musical, is they go into the woods. But they say like, into the woods, you have to go every now and then. That's not the lyric, but you get what I mean. And I had this like revelation of like, oh fuck, the woods are like the shitty times in your life.
Yep. Yeah.
Damn.
That is
you,
so...
you have to go every now and then, but you'll get through it, and it's gonna suck. Yeah.
That's so great, because I literally had the exact same fucking epiphany when I was listening to it on the train the other day too.
Yeah.
Even though I like in the back of my mind, I get it, like I knew it, but then I was like, oh no shit, but for real though.
But now I like get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a couple things I want to say about No More. Literally, I was like, just spoilers.
I mean, yeah, No More.
About Into the Woods. One of which is that line from the finale, which is partly from No One Is Alone, where sometimes people leave you halfway through the wood. Do not let it grieve you. No one leaves for good. I read that when people were reacting to it, and I thought, I was like, I can handle that. Reading it, I heard it in the finale, and I literally immediately started crying. Perfect encapsulation of it. The second thing is like, my story with Into the Woods is that I listened to that musical when they gave us the CD for it over the summer leading up to when we were going to do it over and over again. I was fully planning on auditioning for it. But I had, and to this day still have, really terrible stage fright for auditioning for musicals. And I had been burned before, even though I got into the show, so I don't know what was going through my brain through the audition through Bye Bye Birdie, where we all got up and they put us in front of people in a line and made us sing in front of everybody. And I was terrified of that happening again. It was, I mean, again, and like, I got into Bye Bye Birdie, even though, so I don't know what I was like afraid of, but like with this music, it seemed it meant so much more, and it was so much harder that I literally went to the audition, and then when they started dividing people up into groups of 6 to bring them in front of people, I got up and I left the room. And I did not audition, and I was very upset that I didn't make that choice. And eventually I was into, like, I got on the crew.
Yeah.
And one of my tasks was getting the Stones on stage for the princes to jump on and off during Agony, and I was very proud of myself. But also, there's a song in Into the Woods called No More, as you may know. Between the mysterious man and the baker, the mysterious man being the baker's father, who ran away and abandoned him when he was much younger. And that song kind of hit me in a way that I still am not fully able to articulate. And I think part of it is that, like, the whole theme of running away, that the baker is attempting to do at that point, and his father sings back, yeah, why not just do it? But where's it going to get you? Because you're not, it's not going to help. You're just going to be further unable to.
Son, the farther you run, the more you feel left behind.
Exactly. It's not going to define yourself to yourself anymore. You're just going to. No. Anyway, I can't, like, the song speaks for itself. And like that, and I only made the connection the other day of, like, that in connection with me, like running away from this tiny opportunity that I had in front of me, and, like, this pattern where I was, like, even before I could articulate what that song was to me as a teenager, I was latching onto it. And I used to watch that song from the wings every night. I didn't have to be there. And it was a high school production of Into the Woods, but I would stay back there and watch that number because it was just like that. It was just that experience. It is absolutely no wonder to me that people, I think so many people are, that for Into the Woods is understandably a lot of people's first experience with Sondheim, because it gets done a lot in high schools, and it's no wonder to me that a lot of people come out of that experience as potential Sondheim devotees or as loving that show so much, because what were we doing beforehand? Like, we literally were doing Bye Bye Birdie and Grease. Like, maybe the one good show that we ever did was Guys and Dolls, except for Into the Woods. And doing something like that after doing something like Grease or Bye Bye Birdie is like, it's a completely different experience. Yeah.
You hand that to high schoolers, and it's, even if you refuse to treat them like adults, the material treats them like adults.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Even if you do the weird thing where you, like, only do the first act, like, it's not like you can well, I mean, obviously it's like fucking
Idiot.
anathema.
Yeah.
But it's like the dumbest decision ever. But even if you do that, it's not like you can excise the way that like refuses to take the easy answer about anything. Anyway, what was I said? People who minimize the truths of the show don't understand fairy tales either, and frankly they don't understand stories. Fuck you, buddy.
Yeah. I think in this case the fairy tales are such a perfect vehicle for all the things he's trying to say, because they're all these, like, totally separate stories that, like, everybody knows, and then they all come together in that fucking incredible prologue. Holy shit.
Oh, you know what else? Your Fault.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Banger.
Dude.
That,
so
Your Fault.
hard.
That was
Jesus Christ, that song is so fucking hard.
That was
so fast.
The first song that gave me the joyful experience of hearing a Sondheim song and going, what the fuck? I need to learn every single lyric to this immediately.
Yep. Incredible.
Because it's just that. Yeah, I remember every single night in our production of that, it was just like, oh, good, come on, get it.
Oh, yeah, I remember I was Spotlight. I remember us being up in Spotlight and being like, oh, yeah, it's your fault time. Let's go, baby.
Let's go. What a banger.
Just
there's so many, like, lyric, kind of moral of the story,
Mm-hmm.
but in like not like that lines in that show.
It doesn't feel like it's hitting you over the head with a point. It feels a little bit more like
witches can be right, giants can be good, you decide what's right, you decide what's good.
And I think part of it is because, like, one, it's being told through fairy tales, and that's the point of them. So many of them, right? Is, like, there's a moral here. But it's told through specifically that song, No One Is Alone. It's the baker and Cinderella telling this to Red and Jack, as in they're adults passing on their wisdom, trying to comfort these children in kind of the darkest moment in their lives. And the children comforting them back, saying, like, no, it's not my side, it's our side. We are in it, all of us together. So it doesn't feel preachy, it feels like human connection.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just as we could move on to the next musical. Well, hold on. Okay.
Matty and I used to try and learn Agony together. I still am making this a goal someday. I'm just saying, I know both parts.
We both do.
We both know both parts, so we can just switch up. Doesn't really matter. I will say, for some reason, in the first version of Agony, I have a slight preference for Cinderella's prince, and in the reprise, I have a slight. Or no, sorry. In the first version, I have a slight preference for Rapunzel's prince. In the reprise, I for some reason prefer Cinderella's prince. There was something very gratifying to me about because when I lip sync, I go hard, and when Rapunzel's prince sings "Agony" far more greater than yours, there's an innate just compulsion to just do a quick, like, angry head turn to Cinderella's prince as you sing that, and then back. And I was so gleeful when I watched the Broadway production with Leia last year, and fucking the actor doing it did exactly that. And I was like, thank you. Exactly. It calls
you
for
get it. You get it.
You get it. It's so perfect.
Yeah, if your head doesn't whip to the side like a Bethesda glitch in that moment, like, are you even really singing?
Do you
Agony?
understand this song?
You have to just like daggers at him and then immediately pull it back. It's amazing bit of theater.
Incredible.
Into the woods.
Right.
I'm gonna tell my last little story to lead us out.
Do it.
And this is for that same Into the Woods audition. I did go through with the audition.
Oh man.
Because
King.
This is like my one audition story that has haunted me ever since. Like, over 10 years I've been haunted by this. Because obviously, like, at the time I thought I was a woman. God bless me, I was trying. And I am a comfortable tenor too. So you can imagine those auditions did not go very well for me.
Oh, buddy.
The choir teacher was very nice about it. He was very sweet. Because I started crying. Because I was so embarrassed. And he was like, it's all right. They're just too high for you. And I was like, ugh. And, you know, now it's like, one of you should have pulled me aside before we got there and been like, don't audition for these parts, bro. They're too high.
Somebody, it's so frustrating that nobody went, right? Why can't you just... Oh, God.
What was that, Helena?
Nightmarish.
You sang I Know Things Now, right? The Red song?
I sure did. Sure did.
Oof.
Yeah.
Listener, listening to my voice, you may think, why did you do that?
No.
Because I didn't know any better and I was 16.
Because you were in high school and gender essentialism sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when you're clearly have a great voice for, like, fucking Giants in the Sky or something.
Yeah, I would have killed Giants in the Sky.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I love I love
day.
having the kind of voice where Sondheim's, like, high tenor parts sound great.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway. Shit's good.
Shit's good. Anyway, y'all want to talk about
I was also in Into the Woods then, like, again in high school, which we don't talk about. Except for one of my proudest theater moments of all time was I was the voice of the giant's wife. And
Hell
also
yeah.
like the cow. I was Milky White.
Oh my
but
god,
I did the voice of the giant's wife.
Milky White.
And somebody had to take their child out of the theater because I scared them so bad that they started crying.
Oh. Powerful performance, but poor kid.
Also the time where the person I had a massive crush on at the time just like kind of leaned over to me and was like, if there was like dude, like, we know why, and it's because of weird psychosexual politics involving the choir teacher, and also the fact that our high school like drama teacher was a TV casting agent on the side and therefore just cast people by visual type rather than like acting ability. She just like treated us like she was casting like TV extras. It was really pretty fucked up. And just leaned over to me like while we were watching rehearsal or something and was like, I have no idea why you're not playing the witch. Because the girl
I think you would make a great witch. You would fucking kill it.
One of these days get me drunk and I'll just start doing the last midnight.
Yes.
I had the
into
whole,
the
I had
woods.
The whole fucking,
Helen and I are the princes.
I had the whole beans rap memorized too.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, whatever.
Dude, man, the crew of Cleveland High School's Into the Woods had the fucking finale prologue down shit. The most one more thing about Into the Woods, and then I will have to like leave you actually both to go to bed. Is our high school added a fucking chorus to Into the Woods because they're like, we need to.
Yeah, so did mine.
I forgot about that.
So they had a chorus that only came on for the prologue and Ever After and the finale. And they didn't know the lyrics, and they were doing a dumb little dance, and they're like, what are the lyrics? And the fucking crew was backstage being like, wishes come true, not free. Careful of the spell you cast, not just on children. Like, get it together. We knew the lyrics.
Yeah.
So furious.
Never forget that most of that cast was people who were juniors, aka our year. And then that next year, she was like, we're not doing a musical for you guys because I know that she thought that we couldn't fucking sing.
Yeah. Well,
God.
That's so bad, dog.
She was like, those kids are all crew kids, so we're gonna do fucking something else. And I was so pissed.
And then she didn't cast me in You Can't Take It With You because
well,
they were not that they're like the people that she did cast were bad, but also because she was mad at me because I said I can't. They did King Lear at the beginning of the year, and she was like, I wanted to play Cordelia, and I was like, I literally can't do it because I am doing a professional production that I am getting paid for at a different theater. So I'm showing up to these auditions because as a courtesy, and then I didn't get cast in anything else the rest of the year. Anyway,
I
terrible.
hate that.
And I never got cast in
not
literally
go to
anything.
high school
So
with you guys, but we did do Into the Woods, and then we did do You Can't Take It With You the next year.
yeah,
Fucking synchronicity, baby.
it's destiny. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
We
have one more.
Helena, you gotta go.
Stay up for
I have
Assassins.
things I want to say before we go. I will say this one thing. One more thing about Into the Woods, and then one thing about Roadshow, and then one thing about Assassins.
Okay.
Into the Woods, my friend Jamie was in charge of operating the birds, Cinderella's birds, and I occasionally would help them because sometimes they would be difficult to get on the stage. When the show was over, we had named the birds because there were 4 of them: John, Paul, George, and Ringo, of course. And so when the show was over, Jamie took 2, I took 2. Those never made it back to the closet. They have been in my closet and Jamie's closet, respectively, for the past that would be like 15 years at this point. Those are ours.
It has not been. Hold on, it's not been 15 years.
Well, I mean,
it's been like 12
because I'll be like 30 in a couple of years. So like I'm thinking in terms of like I'm rounding up.
Sure.
Yeah, nearly 15. It doesn't make a difference because 12 years, 15 years, it'll do a number on a fake like plaster bird. I'll tell you that much.
It's true. That is true.
They're not meant to live that long. You're meant to throw that shit in the fire when you're done with them, and we didn't do it. But I love them too much to let them go. One thing, I wish I could stay up for Assassins, but it is 12:24. I love Assassins. It's amazing. I think about the production, which I've never seen, where Jamie Parker plays the balladeer. Literally every day of my life. Jamie Parker has been in, to my knowledge, possibly more, 2 Sondheim shows, one of which is when he plays a balladeer in Assassins, the second of which is when he plays the Count in Little Night Music, which is fucking hysterical to me. I want to see them both, and I know that I probably never will, and it makes me eternally sad forever for the rest of my life. I love Assassins. Ezra will do a very good job talking about it.
I'm about to yell about Assassins.
Ezra's about to yell about Assassins. I would like to put in a kind word for Roadshow and Bounce. I think it's underrated. I can't remember, as is embarrassing, I can't remember which... Roadshow and Bounce are like essentially the same show, just reworked. One of them has...
It was Bounce, and then it was Roadshow.
Okay, do you know which one Richard Kind was in?
I think Richard Kind was in Bounce and Michael Cerverus was in Roadshow. Because I don't think they were in the same one, and I'm like 85% sure Michael Cerverus is in Roadshow. I know I could just Google this. I'm not going to.
I think you're right, because I just Googled. I think Richard Kind's in Bounce. Okay, so they're both valid. Like, they both essentially have mostly the same musical numbers, but they're, like, I like listening to both of them. Richard Kind is really great. He has a great, like, 6-minute number in Bounce, where he's just, like, collecting things and going over the world and getting caught up and having the worst luck. It's great. Only Sondheim show with an explicitly gay character, which I think is just really special. Give it a listen. I think it's good. And I'm not tired in the least, but I know that I have to go to bed. So
okay, that's fair. No, I respect that.
This has been fantastic. I wish I could talk with you more about it. Listeners, listen to Sondheim. That's all I have to say. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.
Bye. Good night. Sleep well. Okay. So, I
don't know anything about Assassins, so this is Ezra time.
Fuck yeah. Okay, so Assassins. What do I even say? I mean, obviously, Assassins is one of my top 5 Sondheim musicals for a number of reasons, a non-zero number of which are, it's the only one that Terrence Mann is in the original Broadway cast of as Leon Czolgosz. So I feel like one of the most fun things I can say about Assassins is that when I had my horrible fucking small-minded right-wing AP US history teacher in high school, he asked something, and I raised my hand and just said, yes, Leon Czolgosz shot William McKinley at the Great Pan American Exposition in Buffalo, New York in 1901. And he looked at me and said, how do you know that? And I got to look him in the eye and say, there's a musical about it. Because there is. It's called Assassins.
Because there is.
It is.
And it's called Assassins by Sondheim, but it's supposed to be real
about people who I tried to assassinate US presidents. Which is as insane as it sounds. It is biting. This show bites. It uses like Americana nostalgia against you. It takes sort of the like emblematic popular music sound of the generation in which these assassinations occurred, kind of in the same way that it uses the sort of like recognizable like national cultural themes to mash up in Pacific Overtures, but instead effectively each of these assassins gets an incredibly catchy or moving or both song justifying their actions, and it's so it makes you understand why people can find these kinds of ideas compelling, why people can get so wrapped up in their own resentments that they lash out in the most splashy way possible. It includes a barbershop quartet about shooting the president. And this show makes you feel bad for John Wilkes Booth until he drops the N-word and you remember who's singing. And it converges on all of these ghosts appearing in the Texas Book Depository in Dallas and convincing Lee Harvey Oswald to shoot JFK. It sounds weird. Like, it sounds bizarre, and it is. I also think it's the Sondheim show that benefits the most from seeing it with the book, because the book of it is fucking great. I can't remember the guy, not Gerald Ford, the guy in the Santa costume who tried to kill somebody other. Anyway, he has this, like, incredibly long monologue, and it's just one of the coolest fucking things I've ever heard. Anyway, it features a dude getting, like, people getting hanged, people getting executed via the electric chair, a lot of actors pointing guns at the audience and singing, which is a props nightmare. I wanted to stage this show in high school, so I looked up how many different kinds of guns minimum you need to stage assassins. It's like 14.
Oh my god.
Needless to say, we didn't end up putting on assassins.
That
was a very short feasibility study. We did Little Shop of Horrors instead. And
it says something that Little Shop of Horrors was a more feasible idea than assassins.
Look, one, there's or at least there was at the time, an online directory of people who would rent you a set of Audrey 2 puppets, and two, you can, like, legally let a 17-year-old run an Audrey 2 puppet. You can't legally give them a prop gun.
Yeah.
But Assassins it's just really, really, really smart about the, American myth-making and how it poisons people and why we can't stop coming back to it again and again, how it repeats itself in each generation. I mean, everybody's heard Unworthy of Your Love 50 billion times. That's because it's fucking good as hell. Anyway, I don't know, man. Assassins has always kind of been, like, my, like, pet, like, weird pet Sondheim thing, where it's like, oh, yeah, like, and then you think about it and you're like, yeah, Jesus, Ezra, of course Assassins is one of your top 5. Because I feel like many, many people who are Sondheim fans, like, people's top 5 is, like, across the board, like, pretty standard. You talk to enough people, most people, it's... Well,
Sunday.
Most people, it's, like, Sunday. I mean, for me,
Company.
it's Sunday, Company, Into the Woods, Pacific Overtures, and Assassins. And, like, the other 4 show up in many, many, many people's top 5. But then I feel like a lot of people, and this is just kind of a thing that I've observed, because obviously I've talked to a shitload of Sondheim fans over the years. It's like, you can usually predict what people's, like, top 4 are going to be, but then everybody has their, like, wild card.
Mm-hmm.
You have, like, the big ones, and then you have, like, your weird one that for whatever reason, like, and sometimes you, like, get to know somebody and you're like, I bet you're a little night music person. Or, like, I bet you fucking love Follies. And for me, it's like, of course you love
Your wild card is Assassins? Yeah.
Yeah, because of course it is.
Yeah. Said with love, but yes.
Yeah, and
I think that, like, once I get a greater understanding of these, Assassins will also be my wild card, just because, like...
Fuck yeah.
Of course it will be.
At some point, I would love to just, like, sit, like, if both of us had the, like, sit in one place energy.
Yeah.
Just, like, do some, like, hand, like, art that, like, just requires your hands but not your brain, and just, like, play assassins. The very crucial thing is that you have to listen to the 1991 or 1992 off-Broadway, because it didn't... Do not listen to the 2004 Broadway cast recording. It is billed as the original cast one because the original production was not actually on Broadway. The 2004 one sucks. I will die on this hill. I will die on this hill. Neil Patrick Harris is dumb stunt casting.
Oh, I forgot.
He is, there is no depth to that performance whatsoever. And yes, Something Just Broke is a beautiful song, and the show doesn't need it. It's like the one that they added to Into the Woods later, where it's fine, but you just do not need it. Something Just Broke, delightful. You don't need it. You don't.
It was, it doesn't add anything.
It doesn't add anything.
Also, I just learned now that they added another song to Into the Woods later, and I'm like, where?
I can't even remember what it is.
Where would you put it?
Fucking, I don't remember. The Three Little Pigs, they put them in this is why the London one sucks. Sorry. I wish, I'll have to look it up later.
Yeah, I'll Google. It doesn't matter at this point. I just had that,
it's extra canonical, and I don't care. The thing
That's
about...
so dumb. Anyway.
My theory about Assassins is that the reason that Something Just Broke got added is because 1990 was a lot closer to people remembering the, like, mass psychological effect of the JFK assassination than 2004 is. Just this, I can imagine this feeling of, like, people won't know what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The shadow is no longer, like, the shadow
Over
is
us.
not long enough
Yeah.
to hit correctly on this show. And I just think it's gilding the lily for me. Where it's a lovely song, but you simply do not need it.
Yeah.
And I think it cheapens the ending sequence of building up to Lee Harvey Oswald being convinced to take the shot. And what works where people's brains fill in the national reaction. It is just, it ties you into the show in a way that, like, it's like you get that buy-in in a way that you don't if somebody has to tell you what that feeling is supposed to be. Does that make sense?
I think that absolutely makes sense.
Yeah,
the idea of treating your audience like they're... And once again, this is just a judgment based on what you've told me. Treating your audience like they're stupid, like they can't fill in the blanks themselves. They need to have their hand held to have the appropriate emotional reaction or understanding.
Especially when, like, most of the assassinations that are happening, it's not like people remember the assassination of William McKinley. It happened 120 years ago.
We don't remember the assassination of Lincoln.
No, but the shadow does reach that far. And I think the shadow of the JFK assassination, of course, reaches that far.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it just fucks up the tonal blend from November 22nd, 1963 to the reprise of Everybody's Got the Right. It just... Anyway... and now I have another national anthem stuck in my head. It's
really quick, before we wrap up here, we have one we're gonna skip, essentially, and then finish up with Roadshow and Bounce. Helena...
which I actually don't. I own Roadshow. I've listened to it a couple of times. I think it's interesting, but
great.
I just don't really have anything to say about it, which I feel kind of bad about.
That's fine.
And I have this weird thing where I've never listened to Passion, and it got to the point where I was sort of saving it, and I'm not sure what for, but I think I was saving it for right now.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, there's 19 musicals on this list, and you guys went very in depth on 17 of them. You know, I think that's
we did, didn't we?
I think that's a pretty good percentage. Helena pointed out that we didn't explain what a counterpoint is. We talked about them a bunch. I don't know if I could give a succinct enough description. Do you feel comfortable handling that?
The extent to which I am not.
Let me Google just a rough explanation.
Yeah, it's like counterpoint is where you have two different melodies happening at the same time instead of like, if you think about like harmony is like everybody's playing, everybody singing together plays one chord. Counterpoint is you've got some voices, some combination of notes makes one chord, and another combination of notes makes another chord, and they're happening at the same time. So it's like two different like sound things, but like and then because you can also get like rhythmic counterpoint where you've got like two different rhythms happening at the same time, but they play together, and like Sondheim is fucking full of that, as anybody who has ever tried to sing the fucking group pieces knows. You're like, how many different rhythms it's like, okay, you three people are doing, you're like, why are there like 7 different rhythmic patterns happening right now? And everybody's got their fingers in their ears trying to only learn
their part, yeah.
Because if you learn somebody else's by mistake, you're fucked forever.
Yeah. Just the Google definition is 2 or more melodic lines or quote-unquote voices, sometimes literally, complement one another but act independently. So, like, they sound good together, but don't sound the same.
Yeah.
Which...
It's the opposite of those weird song compilations where you find out that every single pop song uses the same BPM. 4 chords.
Yeah, or that.
Yeah, or they're all at the same RPM. It's the, like, opposite of that.
Yeah, yeah. Which is, like... Oh my god.
It's hard to do. It's hard. It's fucking hard as balls to write. It's hard as balls to sing. But it sounds unbelievably fucking cool.
Yeah, if you get it right. And it
lets you, like... Yeah, if you do it right. And it lets you, like... in a very, like, this is a weirdly simplistic thing to say, but, like, it means that you can have, like, it feels like you can have, like, 2 moods at what you can, like, layer moods.
Yeah.
Or, like, it's like the musical equivalent of fucking, like, of, like, adding, like, shading.
I was literally about to say, like, I was gonna make a painting metaphor instead, but I was gonna say, like, I feel like a harmony is understanding, the color wheel, like, understanding color theory, and then, like... Counterpoints is successfully, like, using colors together even though they're not necessarily on the color wheel.
Yep.
Like, I know
That's such
that,
a good way of putting that
blue and orange are opposites or whatever, versus, like, actually, it's a little bit more free form.
Yeah. I'm throwing some blue into my orange, except it all looks like a whole thing, even though you can see the blue and the orange at once. Or
right, but it doesn't look like I've put blue and orange together and they stand out separately. It's subtle, I guess, unless, like, it's both subtle and not subtle, because when you listen to a counterpoint, you're like, what the genuine fuck? But also, like, it feels natural because they just go together well.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's so fucking hard, because it has to be... Either you have to have a very, very experienced technical knowledge of, like, I know that these notes go together without hearing them, or you have to have a good ear, because you have to be able to hear that they go well together.
Yep.
And as someone who can't write music, it is beyond me. Write or read music.
No, hardcore.
Is just beyond me.
Dude, I can read music, and it's just absolutely fucked.
Yeah. Boy. Music is so cool. I don't know a whole lot about it in terms of a technical sense. I just have an appreciation as someone who just listens to a lot of it all the time.
Yeah. I wish, I remember the brief moment where somebody tried to teach me the circle of fifths.
No.
That didn't work.
No. We can't go
I
there.
I can read enough music to like, I can sight read vocal music if I have to.
Yeah,
I'm
that is
particularly
about the
good at
extent.
it, but I can do it.
Is I taught myself how to do that in college choir to survive.
Fuck yeah. I used to, I mean, I guess I could probably pretty easily relearn, like, a woodwind instrument. It's been a long time, but, like, it hasn't been that long.
Yeah.
I have this fantasy of taking up the, tenor saxophone again.
Yeah.
And, what I would really like to do is get good enough at the tenor sax to do, like, backup vocals and sax for, like, a funk band.
Yeah.
Along with the, 70 badillion other things that I want to do with my life. So maybe that's going to be my retirement project.
Yeah, we got a lot of life to spend.
We do have a lot of life to spend. I like that. That's a good way to think about it.
Okay, so we're not going to talk about Passion, because I don't know anything about it.
No, we're not talking about Passion, because I don't know anything about it.
Anything you want to say about Roadshow / Bounce?
I have complicated feelings about Roadshow because I remember listening to it, like, because there is a recording of it, and I remember thinking that having a little bit of a crisis, because it sort of felt like it just, it didn't have quite the magic that other Sondheim shows had for me. And I don't know if it's something that I would, like, sort of come to appreciate, even though I wasn't immediately hooked on it. Like, I just don't know. I think it's conceptually very interesting. It's, I think the characters are, like, are even more naturalistic than they are in pretty much any other show. I haven't listened to it in a really long time. I had this kind of weird thing where once I decided that I wasn't going to pursue the arts, and, my parents told me that if I got a BFA, they wouldn't pay for me to go to college. God bless my father for one day looking at me and saying, you would have been a lot happier if I just let you get a theater degree, wouldn't you? And I was like, I mean, probably. Somebody would have, if I had been doing a theater degree, I wouldn't have been able to hide that I had gone completely batshit insane. But, it is what it is. So yeah, I don't know. That's one that it's been a long time since I've tried to get into. And I think also I think maybe I was just too young to appreciate it. And I do think that there are, like, pieces of art that sometimes people are just like, you're just not going to have a resonance with certain parts of it until you've had a little more life experience. I felt like that about King Lear. There are just it's like there are certain things you don't really, understand in the academic sense.
But don't connect with.
Yeah, you don't connect with until you get to the point where you do have to start thinking about, like, your parents aging, or these things that, like, happen to everybody, on a generalized level. But you sort of just, they're universal, except they're not universal, like, temporally. If that makes sense. They're not universal through your whole life. They're just phases. Like, everybody goes through that phase, but it's not everyone is not always going through that phase.
This is gonna be an insane thing to say, but, like, it's horizontal, not vertical, in that, like, everybody goes through it at some point, but you're not going through it all. It's not like, did that make sense at all?
That's exactly what I've been thinking in my head. That's literally the image that I had. Was
everybody has to cross this line, but you were not going to be following it the whole time.
Yes, exactly. And so I'm wondering if maybe Roadshow is more about lines that you cross rather than like lines that you follow. I don't know. I'm excited that there's still something left that's gonna be new to me, because
Yeah.
there's not ever gonna be any. Jesus Christ, I got so far.
Yeah. It's funny. At this point, I'm just gonna accept that we're just gonna be over 2 hours, and that's just how it's gonna be. I've put away my stopwatch, because we've talked all about these shows we haven't talked about.
All right, I'll take off my silly little running.
No, you can keep those. Those could be just fun casual wear. We have not talked about, okay, now I'm gonna choke up, the man himself or his impact, and I don't want to go into his personal life or that kind of thing. I just don't know enough about it, really, you know. But I just think it is, my God, so incredible that a man can live such a long life and make such a creative impact upon the world, and also leave just swaths, huge groups of people in his wake, whose lives he has touched, either through his work or through people he has worked with, that he was just as from all accounts, a generous, witty, compassionate soul, and many people have said many more sensical words than me right now. But I think it is really incredible that so many people have said so many words about him, and will continue to, I think, for a very long time. Many people have also said that he was 91, and it is incredible that, you know, he got to put out so much good work for so long, and, you know, there's no need to mourn that life, because he got to have such a good, fulfilling one. And I think that's true. But I think that there's also something to be said for mourning, not necessarily what he will no longer be able to give, but just the space he left in people's lives when he was alive.
Yeah.
I think I always had this, like, weird far off dream in the back of my head that, like, maybe I would get to meet Sondheim. And you know, was that ever going to happen? Probably not. And now it absolutely won't. And I will never get to convey to him the impact he left on my life. And the way he put into words things I didn't know were in my heart until...
Those things that you didn't know you needed to say.
Yeah.
Until somebody said them for you.
Yeah, when I was 16-year-old on the verge of being really fucked up and not realizing why yet.
Yeah. When I was in high school, he came to do a talk at Benaroya Hall in Seattle.
Wow, cool.
And my best friend, there was Seattle has the, like, weekly, one of their all weeklies is called The Stranger.
Mm-hmm.
And The Stranger ran a contest for a pair of tickets. And people wrote in, and I don't even remember exactly what it was something about, you know, like, kind of a, like, what does Sondheim mean to you? And it's been an unbelievably long time, it feels like. And also I've blocked out a lot of specifics from, you know, before I was 24. And it was either that Dylan won them or his older brother won them and gave them to him. But either way, he got his hands on a pair of tickets to go see Stephen Sondheim talk at Benaroya Hall, and he took me.
Oh man, that's so cool.
And it was just like it was such a, like, you know, on the one hand, like, obviously, like, I'm not a particularly strong believer in the idea of, like, genius or, like, the concept of, like, great soul or whatever, but, like, holy shit, guy was, like, I mean, pushing 80.
Yeah.
And just... you know, you sort of get this idea that maybe you've, like, built somebody up in your head, and they can't possibly live up to it.
Yeah.
Okay, sometimes people can. Yeah. He just was exactly as cool as everybody always said he was.
Yeah.
I think. is what it is. And like, in some ways, I think the most admirable thing, was that, and a lot of people have said this, but I'm going to say it too, was that he was a great teacher.
Yes.
You know, he wanted to bring out the best in other people in a way that encouraged them to be like themselves, not like him.
Yes.
Even though, yeah, you know, to even though we're all out here just hoping that we'll be able to come up with a turn of phrase even half as good, like, ever
in our lives.
Yeah, you know,
there's this wonderful interview with him, and I don't know what it's from, but the gifs have been passing around Tumblr, where the interviewer asks if he wants children. He says, I'm sorry I didn't have any. And there's this pause, and he stumbles over his words, and he says, but part of the other way of having children is teaching. I believe that firmly. Yeah. And just killed me. And boy, you can tell in the way that he mentored all these artists who would come after him or be his later contemporaries, that how much he believed that. There's this other quote from this article that Helena posted that's like, oh god, hold on.
I think, like, you know, I'm not here to chat about Sondheim's personal life, but I do think it means something that he was gay.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so many characters in his works and expressions of complicated feelings about love.
Mm-hmm.
And worrying that you're not doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can't do it right. That is, while not explicitly gay, Roadshow is the only Sondheim show with an explicitly gay character. It's, I think, you know, when I was a closeted teenager, I think for a lot of people, that sort of, so many of these characters have this sense that there's something, they themselves have this sense that there's something wrong with them, and they can't quite figure out what it is an intensely queer experience.
Yeah. There's something wrong, or there's something missing. There's some piece that they just don't have yet, and they don't know how to.
Yeah.
The quote I found, it's from AmericanTheater.org. Which is a heartbroken but also filled what Sondheim gave us. And the opening quote is, or the quote on this link is, he was like a father to many of us, so it shouldn't be surprising that he did what a good father does. He kept showing up and showing his love.
Yeah. Dude, that one fucked me up.
Yeah, which is like, what a perfect summation. There was also this other, I'm just going to keep talking about these articles. I'll find them and link them. From, oh my god, I forget the name of the article of the person, but I'll make sure to link it. Where the author talks about, like, when they, just after they were born, their parents went to go see Sunday.
Yeah.
And they're like,
that's that Grief Bacon one.
Grief Bacon, yes, is the name of the, like, Substack or whatever. And like, parents had them a little bit later, and the mother, like, was an artist, and went to go see Sunday, and it just, like, spoke so true to her experience. And then the author later went to go see Company, and once again had this moment of, like, oh, like, you are speaking to me. This is my experience. And I've had that with Into the Woods, too, even though, obviously, like, it's not a direct comparison, because it's about fairy tales and shit. But, like, I feel like they had this really great point about everybody's got that Sondheim musical. If you're a Sondheim fan, you've got that musical that, like, had a moment where it spoke to, like, looked you in the eyes and spoke to you. And it just, like, shook you to the core. I don't like using the word talent, just like you don't necessarily like genius, because talent is this implication that it's something inherent. So when I say talent, I mean something that he clearly worked very hard at and was very good at and was very skilled at. But what a fucking talent for reading the room of the human condition and putting it to song. Jesus Christ. I don't know what else to add here. It's just I think it's so weird to like mourn a celebrity that you never met. Not weird in terms of like I am saying that I'm weird for feeling this way or anyone else is. But it's a weird thing to experience, to be like, I have never met you and I never will, and I don't know who you were truly at your core as a person, and yet I am grieving for you. Not for you, but I am experiencing grief because you are no longer alive. I've got kind of this is getting deep. I've got the opinion of death, and like when someone has passed away, they passed away, and I don't necessarily grieve for them passing away because like that part's done. It's the grief of they are no longer in your life. But I think the cool thing is that like he is in our lives, because I am literally listening to the ones right now. Like, he's never going to stop. Any artist has the unique luck to never stop being in your life, because there's always a part of them that's recorded for posterity.
Yeah. And I feel like one of the beauties of the legacy of Sondheim's body of work as a whole is that I really feel like as I get older, as I move through my life and I experience more and more of these kinds of phenomenon that these shows are about, I'm going to pick out different little things that are going to mean something new to me as I move through my life.
What a gift.
And experience things that, which is an incredible gift. And it's something that, like, I'm always going to be able to talk to people about. I'm always going to be able to make new friends over, nerding out about Sondheim shows. Like, that's not going to go away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just thinking about, dude. Also, like, it's... I don't remember who was talking about this, but, like, thinking about, like, how we are entering the period of our lives where people who were fixtures of it, not necessarily in a personal sense of like, like your favorite barista or your family members or like, your teachers or whatever, are starting to pass out of the world, but like famous people.
Yeah.
We have reached the age where our cultural touchstone people start to go.
Yeah.
For instance, the now late great Anthony Sher, another another badass gay Jewish theater fucking person, who was a South African actor, famous for an absolutely incredible theatrical career, including a lot of Shakespeare, was also a writer and a painter, and the husband of Greg Doran, who is the artistic director of the Royal Shakespeare Company right now. He passed away today, yesterday. The announcement happened today. And he's another one where he played Richard III for the Royal Shakespeare Company, and he wrote a book called The Year of the King, about his process of preparing for and rehearsing and generating this show. And it is an absolutely incredible exploration of the creative process, much in the way that the collected Sondheim lyrics are the same. They're just these incredible insightful explorations of the creative process by the artist. And I was just thinking about how, like, yeah, you know, like, I will never get to go to a stage door or something and tell him how incredibly charismatic and striking and engaging an actor he was. But, like, you know, I can still go read that book.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, Jesus. I don't know.
Yeah, this is the trap of doing an episode about someone who has recently passed away. Yeah.
We're very
it's very fresh. The metaphor that someone wrote about grief is a red ball in a room with a button, and right after it happens, the ball is very, very large, and so every time it moves, it hits the button. And right now, the ball is very, very large.
Yeah, the ball is very big.
And as time goes by, it gets smaller.
The button is very sensitive.
And the button gets hit less, but it's always there.
Yeah.
So, you know, right now, just smacking the fucking button. It is hard to put into words, but...
Man, we should probably shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
but what a great thing to live at the same time.
Yeah,
as Sondheim. What a great, you know, what a great thing to get to live. You know, I mean, fucking dude, like, what if you died before Sunday in the Park with George ever happened? Like, sucks for the entirety of human existence of people who died without getting to listen to Sunday in the Park with George.
Yeah. And I guess alternatively, like, this is gonna sound very odd, I guess. What a joy that we get the privilege to be able to grieve for him, to, like, go through that together with everyone, to recognize, like, he was alive when we were, and isn't that kind of wonderful? Even though he is now gone, we could all stand here together and talk about how much he meant to us, and he touched, like, no joke, hundreds of thousands of lives.
Yeah.
Even though it obviously hurts, and I'm, like, literally crying, which is, let me tell you, kind of embarrassing.
Oh, dude, yeah, no, same.
It's still, I think, kind of wonderful to have that experience with countless amounts of strangers that I will never know.
Well, and what a fitting
tribute, you, beloved listener.
Yeah,
and you,
and what a fitting tribute to share something that is both painful and beautiful.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I love you.
Alright. I love you too.
I wish Helena was here. Even though, like, it's so late in New York right now.
It is fully after 1 o'clock in the morning in New York.
Helena, I love you too. I know you're listening to this later because you said you would, but we love you.
Yeah. Well, and to all of you who are listening, who are not Helena, but also to Helena, thanks for hanging out with us here on Sneople at the Movies from the Infinity Break Network. Check out infinitybreak.net for more awesome content, and comment us up on Twitter at people_snake, or shoot an email to sneopleatthemovies@gmail.com. Our amazing music was done by Johnny Ronaldo, who you could find at Johnny Ronaldo on Twitter. Our super snazzy logo was designed by Bethany Luthold. Check her out at bethanyluthold.wixsite.com. If you've got a subject you want to hear us talk about, a movie you think we absolutely need to see, or your favorite Sondheim lyric, come say hello. Also, if you can, leave a review on iTunes and share the show with any friends you think would appreciate it. As always, thanks for listening, and we'll see you at the movies. We'll see you at the movies in 2022.
Yes.
Sneople's gonna give ourselves a little bit of a break for once. We will be back in the new year, with, absolutely no expectations whatsoever for what 2022 is going to be like, because clearly making predictions about 2020 and 2021 are what got us into this mess.
Right. So here we go. That's why we did an extra long episode, is so that you would
Yeah.
have a little extra Sneople to carry you through the holiday months, and we will come back ready and refreshed for whatever the fuck is gonna happen next.
I know. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, like I said, what is it? Man plans and God laughs.
Yeah. Exactly.
God's not real except for when I'm completely sure that they are and they're laughing at me.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wow. To everyone, I wish you a happy new year, and we will see you again when the days are getting longer.